Before I start, I want you all to stand up, give yourselves a hand. Let's give yourselves a hand. These many black males, we had a event. It's educational, and y'all not kicking it. There's no females saying this is big. Okay, just give yourselves a hand. One more hand. Wow. Before I start, I want to thank Dwayne Jenkins for his opportunity, the S.T.R.O.N.G program, EIU, and everybody that helped me to come here, because this is a privilege and an honor to come talk to African American males, because I've worked tirelessly with so many black males and going through so many problems and issues. So to be able to come and speak to you all, this is big. Okay, so I want to start out. I want to talk about hope. Self-empowerment, what it means to build legacy in the black community, and really talk about how strong the black male is, and how strong it is to be a minority, and how important it is to take advantage of who you are and understand your self-worth. Okay, well, before I start, before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about who I am and my story. My name is Charles Alexander. I went to SIU. From the south side area of Chicago. I went to Kenwood Academy. All that good stuff, but what led me to where I'm at today was a push, okay? Just a simple push. It was led me to what I'm doing today, to the Speak Hope movement, to going to college, and all that good stuff, okay? I grew up with my great-grandmother, my two sisters and I grew up with my great-grandmother. When I started living with her, she was 78 years old, and we lived with her. Our parents weren't around, so it was hard. Okay, it was very hard. Going through life and understanding that I have parents that were alive, but they didn't want to take care of their own kids, okay? So that had a big effect on me and who I was and as a person in general, okay? I didn't understand that I had a future. I didn't understand that I can reach certain particular goals. I didn't think it was possible. Okay, so staying with my grandmother, it was hard because my parents weren't there. Okay, so going to school, I got kicked out my middle school, James McCosh. Anybody heard of McCosh? Anybody Southside of Chicago, James McCosh? I kicked out of school in 7th grade. But the reason I kicked out of school wasn't because I didn't have the capability to do the work, but it was because I didn't have nobody to push me. Okay, I didn't have any guidance. I didn't know who I was. I didn't understand that I had a future. I didn't understand there was hope out there for me or my two sisters. Okay, so what happened is that the transition happens when I got kicked out of school. My uncle intervened in my life. My uncle was a pastor, and he intervened in my life, and I started staying with him. When I started staying with him, that's when my entire life had purpose. I started understanding I could do things in life. I started understanding that despite my current circumstance, despite the things I went through as a child, I could be anything I wanted to be. And that's something I didn't think was possible before, until my uncle and my aunt gave me that push. And that push is what led me to where I'm at today, and that push is what I'm trying to get you all today. Okay? Because as African American males, you have so much power in who you are, because in your community, people are looking up to you, even if you might not think they are. People are watching you and looking up to you and want to be like you. But the bigger question is, what are you leading them to? What are you leading the guys to in your community? What are you leading the African American minorities to that you know? What are you leading them to? Are you telling them you can go to college? Are you telling them you can get a 4-year degree? Are you telling all these good things? Or are you leading them astray? Okay? So we have a responsibility. Alright? We all have a responsibility to help minorities and help black males and take who we are to the next level. We can talk about these stats. 35% retention rate of black males attending a university. That means only 35% of the black males that come to a university actually stays there and graduate. 35% is a F, okay? Which means that we're failing. And we're failing not only because of, our current circumstance, but because we don't want to help each other. Right now we're dealing with something that's really affecting our communities. And that's the individualistic attitude. Okay, that's something we have to get away from. We got to stop to worry about what I can do and my family. We have to look out for each other. It is time now that you take your brother and you tell him what he needs to do to get to where he's trying to go. We have to help each other out. We can't depend on anybody else to do it. Okay, so this thing called hope. The acronym I call hope, for hope, I said, hold only positive energy. Okay? And when I say hold only positive energy, I know that can be very, very hard. Going through whatever you're going through in your life, having issues with your family and school, and trying to keep positive energy is very hard. Don't get me wrong, but it's something that we have to embody. Okay? We have to have hope. As black males, as African Americans, minorities, whoever you are, if you don't have hope, then it's hard to get to that next level. We all have problems. We all have issues. We all have different things as individuals within who we are, but it's a thing called hope that we must have that's going to help us all get over that hump. Okay? So embody hope. Hold only positive energy. Keep your vision clear, even when the road becomes blurry. Okay, and when I say that, I know that's hard. And I use that as a metaphor, is if you're driving, okay, and it starts raining, and it starts snowing, it's very hard to keep it, it's hard to keep staying a straight, narrow path. It's hard to do that. It's hard to keep your vision clear. So that's what I mean, keep your vision clear despite of what's going on around you. There's so many distractions when it comes to music, when it comes to media, reality TV shows, when it comes to people in your family saying you won't be nothing in life. These are things that we are dealing with on a daily basis, but we have to have hope. We have to keep our vision clear, even when things become blurry. Okay? And that's another thing when I was growing up. People in my own family told me I would never be nothing in life. Okay? They said you would never be nothing. You'll be just like your no good mother and no good father. These are things I was hearing at 8, 9, 10 years old. Okay? But I knew once I got that push, and once I knew it was a direction I could go in my life, I felt like a different person. Every black male in this room right now is privileged. And you're privileged because you have somebody that care about you. You have somebody that care about you, and then you guys go to urban prep, to great high school. Somebody cares about your well-being. You guys at EIU, this is a great university. So somebody cared enough about you to get you over whatever hump you was going through to get you in a great high school, get you in a great college. Okay, so you are privileged. You have the opportunity right now to do anything you want to do in life. Because you have resources, you have opportunity, and on top of everything, you have time. Right now is the best time in your life to start planning to be what you want to be. This is a planning process. It's time for you to sit and understand and think about, what do I want to be? What do I want to do? How can I impact somebody else's life? Okay? My major is speech communication. And my main focus, I want to get to corporate communication. That's what I want to do. I want to climb the corporate ladder, be a businessman, do all that good stuff. But what stopped me from doing this is one thing. I didn't want to be a person that got 1, 2 degrees and forget about where I came from. I don't want to be a person that forget about the people that need me in our communities, and the minority people that just need that push, that just need to hear just a little bit of hope to get them over that hump. I don't want to forget about y'all. And that's the same thing, you all do the exact same thing. You don't have to speak to everybody, but just you telling your story and who you are, just one person can change their life. Okay, so start understanding the power that you have, the ability that you have. You can do anything you put your mind to. Anything. Self-empowerment. Show of hands, how many of y'all encourage yourself daily? That's great. And when I say encourage yourself, I mean, despite your problems and your circumstance, you said, self, we can get through this together. We always talk about this one thing, having relationships, right? Having relationships with girlfriend, having relationships with parents, family. But one thing we never talk about is having a solid and positive relationship with yourself. Sometimes you gotta go home, look in your mirror, whatever you gotta do, and say, self, talk to yourself. Now, not in front of everybody though, but it's you in your house, you say, self, we're gonna get through this together. What is the relationship that you have, what's the relationship you have with yourself? Do you really know who you are? Do you really know yourself? Once you understand who you are, the capabilities you have, your talents, and how to make yourself shine, you can do anything you want to do in life. Because you know who you are. So establish a relationship with yourself. Know who you are. Know your self-worth. yourself. Motivate yourself. Do what you need to do to the fullest and never be ashamed to. Okay? I'll repeat that. Do what you need to do to the fullest and never be ashamed to. And what I mean by that is whatever you have to do, whatever direction you want to go in life, don't let nobody knock you off your straight and narrow path. Do what you need to do to the fullest. Don't be ashamed to do what you want to do. Don't let nobody say, oh, you want to do that? You want to be a lawyer? Why you want to, why? For what? They don't make that much money. You got to be in school for 8 to 10 years, whatever. Don't let nobody knock you off your square. Don't do that. If you want to do something, you want to pursue something, don't let anybody stray you away from what you want to do. So that's that self-empowerment. And that's that embodying hope and understanding, having a relationship with yourself, understanding who you are. Now, if I ask you all, how much are you worth? Can somebody tell me like a number sign, like how much you think you're worth? Anybody put it in? So, but if I ask you about Bill Gates, you probably tell me what she worth, right? Right? Or Oprah Winfrey? Or Michael Jordan? Okay. But when I talk about self-worth, I'm not talking about money signs. I'm not talking about the dollar signs. I'm talking about self-worth internally. Like your worth. Like who are you? Understanding your personal self-worth as an individual, as a black male. When I look out here right now, I see success. That's what I see right now. I see a room full of black males that's focused and that want to be successful. But it's hard to be successful if you don't understand your self-worth. Many of us is leaving college, about to start to get to the job market. We know it's bad, we know it's tough. But when you talk about this self-worth thing, it's when you can go to an interview, right? And the employee says, tell me a few things about yourself. And you get stuck. That's an issue, okay? And it's not about bragging on yourself or being braggadocious or being cocky, but it's about being confident in your abilities. It's about understanding your self-worth, understanding who you are. Not dollar signs, but internally. Like your self-worth, your character, your personality, your talents, your capabilities, your self-worth. You don't have a dollar sign on it, because right now, you are the cream of the crop. Despite what the media is saying to us about black males, I know so many black males are successful. I know so many black males have the ability to do anything. So we got to stop letting the media and everybody else is saying, tell these percentages, because we already know every percentage and quantity and quality, all that good stuff is skewed. Okay? Everything is skewed that we hear. Not saying there's no factual information about it, but it's an issue, it's a reason for everything. Okay? And we don't know why somebody dropped out of college. They maybe not need to work, they wouldn't do the work, or they might have family problems. So that's what I mean to say quantitative research is skewed. But right now, you all are in a privileged position. So privileged. And you all are confident. The guys are urban prep. All we do is say, what's up? All we do is say good things about you guys. And I know, and I see that guy right there at the event. The guy right there, with the gray shirt. Yeah, you. I seen you at an event. Yeah. I seen you at an event with a few other guys that was at a panel. All right, and I was like, I don't see high school guys with blazers, and it was a different look. I was shocked. But that told me that we have hope for our future when I seen that. I'm like, man, so they say this in the media, they say this and say that, but I see it with my own eyes. I see this, and y'all see this. You guys that's in college, you see what our future is. It's not just negative. The future is right here in front of our eyes.